I'm out here in southwestern Utah today doing some shed hunting. Never been to this area, just drove here today and I'm checking it out. I've been looking at this spot on the map for about probably 2 months now, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, which is what I like. So I'm not sure how much game there is around here. I'm kind of more in a desert area. It's pretty dry up here, I'd imagine, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. It's about 9:30 in the morning. I've got all day today and most of the day tomorrow if I need it to do some hiking, so it should be fun. Let's go. I found some really old droppings so far. A couple different sets of them, but nothing too fresh. My goal is to head, I think it's up over that mountain. There's a spring down there that's kind of all by itself, so I figure that might be a good place to start. It's about 2 miles away, so hopefully I can get that far today. This looks pretty steep down here, but just keep going until I find some sign and maybe start grading some areas, but still haven't seen much sign so far. Found some good sign up here. Elk rub. I think it's elk anyway. That's cool. Still not seeing a lot of tracks, but keep going and hopefully I'll get into them. It's been probably an hour and a half, haven't found anything yet. Heading up over this hill, and then I think I only have maybe half a mile until I get to the spring that I was looking at on the map, and it looks fairly flat up there. I don't know if it dips down and then is flat towards the bottom, which is what I'm guessing, but it might just be kind of a high point up there too, but it looks kind of flat. So, well, I made it to the spring that I was hoping to get to. There's still not much sign at all down here, so it looks like, according to the map, there's a meadow kind of up on top of this hill, maybe half a mile, a little further, so it's not too far away. And the plan is to hike up there and check that out. It's at about 8,200 feet, and that's definitely the highest portion of this mountain that I'm on, so maybe the elk are up just a little bit higher. I'm at about, I think, 7,600 right now, which is kind of some of the highest that I've been hiking today. So I'm gonna head that way, check it out, see what it looks like. We've got all these steep boulders that I can't climb up, so I'm gonna try to work around it and maybe find my way up, but the view from up here is pretty awesome. The further I go, the more I think this meadow, as I thought it was, it's just a big old pile of rocks, because it is pretty rocky and pretty steep up here. Been having to basically do some rock climbing to get up here, so I'm gonna keep going and check it out, see what's up there, but it might not be the nice lush meadow that I thought it was. I'm just getting up to it, and it is a meadow after all, so I'm pretty relieved. It's kind of like down in a little bowl, but it's open at least. There's a little bit of water down in the bottom of it. Let's go see if there's any sign down there. There it is. Awesome. Well, I made it back here about 4 miles in, and there's a little bit of water out here, but no fresh tracks whatsoever. There's some really old elk sign, probably from a year ago, maybe more. It's old. And then it looks like a little bit of A little bit of wild horse manure and a couple old horse tracks from just the wild population up here, but just old elk sign. Guess I really am in the desert if there's no sign around this one water hole out in the middle of nowhere. Just not enough water, not enough food to support many animals out here, I suppose. Doesn't look too bad now, but we've had so much rain the past month or two that it's greened up a lot, but that doesn't mean the animals are gonna come back in that time frame. Looks like a horse made its way through here a little while ago. Kind of came up in here and turned around over here, so the water must have been right in this area, and now it's way back there. So pretty old and definitely horse because it's completely beveled out. There's no hoof marks like there would be if he was an elk, and also on any of these there's no dew claw marks. So looks like a horse to me. Yep, look at that one. Definitely horse. Seems to be the only thing living up here within the past couple months, but probably head on out of here. It'll be maybe a 3-hour hike back to the truck and see what else I can do today. I can't believe it. Yes. Oh, I just found, I think it's 2 antlers. Oh my goodness. Oh, I dropped my hat. I did it. Yes, I did it. Oh, a dream come true. Oh, dream come true. I finally did it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think they're, oh, it looks like 2 elk antlers from here. They're only like 10 yards, but yes. I was just following this fresh set of elk tracks. I think it's maybe a cow or a small bull. They're probably like a week old, I'm guessing, so definitely didn't shed in here from that time. But I was like, you know, I'm just gonna follow them. It's the first fresh sign I've seen all day. So I'm just kind of walking up here and I see 2 things that look like tines, and I pull my binos. Yes! So pumped. Check these things out. Oh my goodness. Can barely see him now. There's the one. Can see the burr on that one. That's the second one I saw. And then if you see that little tine right above that burr, that's the first one I saw. Yes, I'm so pumped. Let's go check him out. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Yes. Look at those things. Oh, yes. So wacky. Look at that dude. They are old, but I do not care. I am so jacked. Oh man, that is a sweet looking young bull, I'm guessing. Side by side set. I am so jacked. Oh, I did not think I was gonna find anything today. 'Cause there's just been, oh man, it's just been so tough. I didn't even think there was gonna be anything, you know, even remotely close to shedding up here, because I haven't seen hardly any sign today. But that just goes to show you just got to keep going, keep pressing on. And I just found my first ever elk sheds, and it's a side-by-side set. Yes! So pumped. Oh, look at this thing. It's old, but I do not care one bit. I am so pumped. go check out this one. It's got kind of a, I'm guessing it's broken right there on his first. It's kind of a odd shaped bull. Busted up a little bit there behind his burr, but it's sweet. Look at those. Yes! Let's pick these things up. Haha! Look at that weird dude. Would have sat on him like that. Sweet. Oh yeah. That is a wacky set, but that is awesome. That is awesome. My first ever elk set. First ever elk sheds. This 5 is actually pretty nice for a younger bull. I'm guessing these things have been here probably 3 years is my guess, but that is awesome. So pumped right now. Yeah. Got him loaded down. Gonna mark this spot on my GPS and probably make a couple zigzags through here. These are probably 3-year-old sheds, but if they dropped here, then there might be more 3-year-old sheds in here, or even fresher ones. You never know. Private land, there's like a section of private land just over this hill, and it's kind of down in a meadow, so I'm thinking maybe the elk are really liking that private land in the winter and down in that meadow, and they can just feed on the grass down there. So I'm thinking if that happens, this bull was probably just bedded right here. It's probably why he dropped both sides. It's kind of a flat spot here, and he might have just been bedding here and popping over the hill to go feed. So if that's the case, this whole hillside might be pretty good. So I'm gonna check it out a little bit. I've got probably 3.5 hours of light left, so I've got some time. I found the fence line. I'm just gonna walk it back to the south, probably until it turns and turns back to the west. I don't know if a lot of elk jump the fence and drop their sheds, but once in a while it'll happen with deer, so I'm guessing it'll probably happen with elk too. So just gonna walk this for a while and see what happens. Well, I made it back to the truck. Pretty good hike. Lasts about 9 hours. I haven't checked my mileage yet, but I will in a second. I think my plan for the rest of the evening, I have probably 2.5 hours of daylight left. There's a meadow that I had to drive through to come up here, and I think I'm gonna go down to that meadow and probably walk the edge of it, see what kind of sign there is, maybe make some grid patterns back and forth in it, and then if I have time, maybe head up in the trees a little bit, where the elk might bed if they are in that area. So probably gonna do that. First I'm gonna make some supper. I'm kind of hungry. For today I have Hormel chili and then just a granola bar. I've got some other food, but this should be good for now. I'm down here in this meadow now, doing a little bit of glassing. Haven't seen anything yet. It looks really good. All this grass is nice and green and tall and perfect for grazing on, but I just don't think there's hardly any animals around here. I've been glassing pretty much the whole thing. It's probably a mile long by maybe half a mile wide, so it's a decent sized meadow, but not seeing anything yet. Pretty interesting find. I've been seeing all this wild horse manure all over the place, and I saw 8 of them actually up there on the hill about 45 minutes ago. Looks like this one died quite a while ago, but definitely something you don't see every day. This is a pretty unique area. I'd say today I've probably seen more horse sign than I have elk. There's just so much manure spread all over the place everywhere I've been looking. a lot of tracks. Everywhere that you'd think there'd be elk, there's usually not elk here. There's horses, but pretty crazy. Like I said, I saw 8 of them up on top of a hill about an hour ago now, and they were in a burn area. I drove up there because I wanted to see what the grass looked like and if it was any good for elk, and it was mainly just weeds, but there were 8 horses feeding around in there, so that was kind of cool to see. I actually didn't even know there were wild horses in this area until about 3 days ago. One of my supervisors at work actually mentioned it, so it's kind of cool to know. Pretty glad I knew it before I came out here, otherwise it would have been kind of confused with all the horses all over the place. But we've got about probably 20 minutes until the sun sets behind the mountain there, and maybe another 30 minutes or so of light after that. But I'm just gonna keep on going this way. I'm gonna make a loop all the way kind of around the middle section or outside section of the majority of this meadow, and then head back to the truck and decide what I want to do from there. There's a horse right down below me. It's probably 400 yards away. I'm not going to go any closer. I do not want to mess with these things. The ones up on the hill that I saw earlier today were making all sorts of noises and honestly kind of sounded pretty mean, so they're probably not used to humans at all. I don't know if they would run away or run toward me, but oh, there's a bunch of them down there. I see at least 3 right now. I'm just gonna watch them for a little bit. It's pretty cool to see actually, but the sun's gonna set here in a second. I think I'm gonna call it a day, head back to the truck. I have probably 3/4 of a mile walk, and if I don't find anything then, it's gonna be it for today, but it's a pretty exciting day. Well, I made it away from the horses and back to the truck, and here's what I've got for today. So pretty pumped that I finally found some elk sheds. This bull sits so odd. He sits kind of like that on his head, but still pretty cool. Kind of discolored, pretty old, but pretty unique. I like unique antlers. That'll do. I just want to say thanks for checking out this video. Today was a huge win for me. Finally got my own elk sheds. I've been dreaming of finding elk antlers since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. 3 years ago I found a broken off beam in Arizona, but it wasn't a shed, so I don't really count it as a shed. It's still an antler though. So today was a huge day. I've been so pumped. Finally got my own. Match set side by side made it even better. It was so awesome. I've been watching so many shed hunting videos lately, trying to figure out how other guys do it and trying to learn from them where the elk are, where they like to winter, and kind of how to find sheds out here in the mountains, which is pretty unique to me. So it was a pretty big day for me, and just want to thank you for tuning in and checking it out.